Awakening Wonders out there. My name is Chrissy and I'll be giving you a prediction reading for the 20th of August. Now, if you are new here, I talk a lot about global energies as well as, of course, the Great Awakening process, which is happening on a large scale. It's fantastic. People are really waking up now to the nonsense and garbage that has been getting fed to them by government and the media, which we all know mainstream media has been lying to people. So I'll close my eyes. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Hit those bell notifications too, and then you'll know my videos pop up. And I will get started and we'll see what comes up. Don't forget to hit the like buttons, guys, too, and comment, because I love hearing from you down below. All right, let's go. It's Saturday morning here and I'm all energized, ready to face the day. The sun's shining. Let's go. Now, I'm getting that people are ad-libbing. So when I think of the word ad-libbing, and this is actually the global leaders and the people in charge of the big reset and all the people who are running our countries, apparently running our countries, they're ad-libbing. So they're kind of making things up as they go. When you think of ad-libbing, it's like someone's putting extra things in that they hadn't pre-planned. So ad-libbing to me is filling like the gaps. So now we've got these government leaders who are starting to realise that their agenda is being very exposed. They're starting to ad-lib. So they're starting to fill in the gaps with just nonsense and stuff that is meaningless and isn't making sense. Well, we know one name rather, Biden. There's a lot of ad-libbing goes on there and none of that makes any sense. But this is what I'm getting for these global leaders. They're starting to ad-lib. So they're having to fill in the gaps because this is not making sense to anyone. Not to us, not to the people waking up. There's just no logic in any of this, which is basically the whole reset agenda. Like, who voted these people in to change everybody's lives? Pretty much no one. So now they're having to ad-lib because they've got to, I said they had to roll up their red carpet the other day because it hasn't just become the big Reset Agenda Awards. They've had to temporarily, hopefully permanently, roll up the red carpet and put it away for a little bit because people are seeing the truth and they're waking up. Gosh, did you guys hear about the, there's been a $10 million lawsuit one. I'm just trying to think where it was. It was for a nurse who didn't want to get the shot. There was something about religion as well, but she was coerced, made to get it, and she ended up dying. And sorry, my phone's ringing, guys. Just ignore that for a little bit. Sorry, guys. I think it's the washing machine. Hopefully that's not affecting the video too much. Sorry, I forgot to turn my washing machine off. Excuse me, guys. The phone was just vibrating. Where were we at? Yes, so they're having to I was talking about the $10 million. Sorry. Yes, someone's won a $10 million lawsuit against mandates. This is brilliant. That means, and there was more than one person. They actually broke it down, and a lot of these people were getting payouts. I'm guessing it was probably in America or somewhere like that. It's on Tony Lynn's channel. You can look that up if you want. He has that channel I was telling you about. He talks a lot about the jab. So things are being exposed. Someone's having to pay out because these mandates have been virtually, as we all knew here on my channel, illegal. You can't force and coerce people to put God knows what in their body. So this has started. I talked about these truth movements probably a month ago, that people were banding together now and supporting each other and fighting back. And I did talk, and we all knew here, I know you guys knew, that the legalities were going to catch up with all these people because hello, let's look at Trudeau. There's a liar right there. He's lied about, sorry guys, that's my washing machine. He's lied about everything. We know he's being caught out. He lied about health orders. He's lied about mandates. He's lied about everything. Now, he's going to have to do a lot of ad-libbing to kind of cover his tracks. So it'll be interesting to see how they get around some of these things now that they're starting. Like I said, it's time. We're nearly 3 years on now, and more comes out. There's more and more people who get braver to talk about their vaccine injuries. We know they were scared of speaking out. We know this. More and more legal cases have been getting sorted beneath the surface. I said we've got that senator here in Queensland who's been gathering all this information of people who have been vaccine injured or who've lost their jobs. They've been gathering information. So these legal things moving forward are starting. And this is brilliant. This is what we want, because that's a massive, massive pushback against government. And that's where we could see, I think I talked about it the other day, the big tsunami wave coming back over government. Hence the red carpet for the big Great Reset award ceremony had to be rolled up. So let's see what else we get. But that's good to know that there's some lawsuits being won. Any win is a huge win, but that was a huge win. Let's see where else we go with this today. Hang on, I've got to have some coffee. Had to get my coffee, you guys out there that share a coffee with me. Hang on a sec. Now yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I got the Golden Gate Bridge. Bridges are being built. Bridges are being built. Now, a few weeks ago, I talked about us being like in the middle of the bridge. So we're in this middle place between government and the people waking up. So I always talk about us, it's like the scales, isn't it? We're sort of like this mid piece of the scales, and we've found our balance now. We've found this really good balance point where we've got everything balanced. We're kind of balancing the government over here, and we're also balancing these people waking up over here, because we're staying really centered, we're staying in our power, we're staying in our strength, and we've learned how to navigate this. If you think about it, that's a pretty good visual of where we're currently at. We're protecting ourselves and staying safe from the people waking up and the people who are in the mass psychosis still, because there's still a portion of them. But we're also staying away from government. We've managed to somehow, I don't know how, but you think about it, 3 years on, and we're still feeling very centered. We're actually feeling better than we did at the start. We're feeling freer. We're getting on with our life. We're feeling energized. We're having laughs. God, we have so many bloody laughs on this channel. It's some of the stuff the guides gives us. I mean, you've got to give them 10 points for making us laugh and have a real good gut laugh with some of the things that they come up with. Even the music, what great feelings that evokes in a lot of us. So I do feel like we're quite centered. And, that's what I was just saying, like with the 3 years, we have navigated an absolute shitstorm, ridiculous bloody event that doesn't even feel real. It's like we've been in some, I guess you could actually relate it to the, what's those goggles you put on? The, oh my God. What's that thing where you put on the goggles? The what's that? What's he creating on Facebook? The Metaverse. That's it. Oh my God! Sometimes I just can't get things. The Metaverse. It's like we've been in the Metaverse, and we took our goggles off a while ago, because we wanted to get back into reality. It's like for a while we all got taken into this like Metaverse of the CV event, and when we took our goggles off, this is you watching my channel, when we took the goggles off, we saw our reality again, and it became clear, it became beautiful. We all found each other here, we created Terabella, and we don't need the goggles anymore. We don't need the virtual reality Metaverse goggles, because we chose to get rid of them. We're not going down the Metaverse road. That's where they wanted to take us all. But that's what it's felt like. It's felt like we've been living in this strange experience for 3 years, but we've navigated it. We've managed to pull right away from government. Yes, we get the ripple effect. I always say that we do, but they're not knocking us over, are they? Gosh, we were vilified. We had to stand up. We had to have flags. We had to fight against government. And that was not easy, to lose all your friends. We've all battled here with family. What the hell was even that? But we're still here. We're still standing strong. I don't think many people could say that they would sort of go through that process. And that's why the other day I did talk about being the chosen ones, like the little Martian in Toy Story that gets picked out of the pick a prize machine. That's us. We got picked out for a reason because we have this incredible strength, and that's why we're the Braveheart bikers. I always talk about us cruising around the countryside, being free and wearing our biker jackets with all our patches and our achievements over the last 3 years, like the Maverick patch that we're all very proud of. That's us. But we're centered. We've found this really good balance point between all this narrative and people waking up and the government BS that they've been feeding us, which I guess you could kind of say is the reset. Because we took the silly metaverse bloody goggles off and started to see the real reality. Let's see where else we go. Hang on a sec. Now, I'm getting that these people waking up aren't feeling as downtrodden. They were feeling very downtrodden. I think I described them as the grapes in the barrel, like when people make the wine in, is it Italy and all that, and they stomp on the wine with their feet and squash everything. Well, that's how these people were feeling probably for 3 years actually, but mostly in the last 6 months. We could say they got hit very hard and they were stomp, 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 and it squeezed the bloody life out of them. If you think of the wine coming out of the grapes, it squeezed the life out of them until they were like a dried up old sultana. Is that, yeah, that's what a grape becomes, or a raisin, something like that. No, sultana. And that's what they felt like, some like dried old food that was just like lifeless and shrunk. And that's what these people felt like. But now they're not feeling as downtrodden. It's almost saying, it's like, someone's come and like poured water on all the dried up sultanas. This is a strange one. And they've like plumped up again. So they've kind of filled back out. So they've found a way to re-strengthen again. And this is what I keep saying about these people are going to start fighting back, because they've been taken down to the lowest of low and they have to find that inner strength now. And that's why it's getting that they're like as squashed grapes, they're starting to expand again and they're starting to find their power again, because they know if they don't get plump again and find their sort of inner strength. You think of a grape that's squashed, it's very wrinkled up, and again that's coming back to that contraction. But when it sort of expands and plumps back up, it's like a completely different visual, isn't it? So that's what these people are going through. They're having to find that inner strength, and that's what the soul breakdown is. It's about sort of coming down to your lowest of low and then rebuilding yourself back up. And that's what we all had to go through. We all went through things early. And like I often talk about here, we've all been through things in our life. I think if I got you guys to write down pretty much your turning point in your life, leave them down below. Maybe if you want to share them would be great. You don't have to, because I know that can be very personal for some people. But it would be interesting for a lot of us to understand each other and what we've been through. We might have lost someone to suicide. We might have lost a loved one. A lot of us might have been through dark nights of the soul, depression. There's a lot of people who have had very different experiences out there, and we haven't all had them at the same time. But now that these people are starting to wake up, their world is collapsing. So they're having to sort of, it's showing me like them grabbing that rope and crawling their way out of, you think of a bucket. If you think of the grapes in the bucket, or the half wine barrel, they found the little rope, and if you picture these little like sultanas trying to crawl out of the wine barrel, and get back to being a bunch. See, it's this coming together. You think of a bunch of grapes, they're reconnecting again. People are coming together again. They're supporting each other. Look at the people with the mandates and winning a lawsuit. They're coming together. These little shriveled up, well, we could say people waking up that were all contracted and living in fear and anxiety and didn't want to speak out against the jab and all this sort of thing. They're finding their strength. They're plumped back up again. They're empowered now, and they're coming together like the bunch of grapes. That's the visual that the guides are giving me, and that's how they get that strength. Just let me see where else we go today. Hang on. Yeah, and the guides are just saying, because people's worlds are collapsing. Their worlds are collapsing. I said it the other week. They were like on the seesaw with government. This is them, not us. We're just the pivotal part in the middle. These people over here were sliding off. That I'd said about the housing market's going to be really dropping in August, and it already has. Government was pushing, and it's tipped these people off the seesaw. They've slid off onto the ground, and they know it. That's why they've got to start standing up and fighting back. Oh, because it's terrifying to these people. Not only is it like creating anxiety and fear, but it's starting to become terrifying. Seriously, I talked about it the other week about America, how you haven't got that good, well, we don't know who the real puppet master is in America, do we? We know it's clearly not Biden. Maybe it's his son, Hunter. He seems to have a bit of control over things. But whoever the puppet master is, we do have to question a lot of things, don't we? You know, it's not, there's no confidence in the people in America, and this is where they feel vulnerable to terrorism and these kind of things. So it puts a lot of this terror in people. Is China going to come and take over? You know, not just America, this is other countries too. But this is what these people are now going through. They're becoming more vulnerable. That's probably the word I'm looking for. And when you're feeling vulnerable, you tend to start to come together. And that's what we need them to do. We need them to come together to knock these elite dictating rulers off their bloody pedestals. But things are collapsing. They are. I keep saying it. I know it's hard to see, but it's happening in little bits and bobs. It is. It's happening. I talked about the house of cards the other day and how the corner had dropped. And you think about it, if you knock a couple of cards out of the bottom of a big card tower, it starts to crumble pretty quickly, doesn't it? It's happening. Hang on, let's see what else we get. Yeah, it is. People are finding the strength in numbers. It's like what we went through. We had to find strength in numbers. I talk about the blob movement here all the time. We're just rolling forward and people are coming on board. People are coming on board. We're reconnecting with like kind and people of the same vibration, and that's what gives people strength. It lifts you into those higher vibrations and it frees you of all that. You think about it. When you're high on a mountain, and I talk about us a lot on the mountain because we know the guides lift us up so we can stand on mountains, like the Josh Groban song, which we all love here. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. Well, that's what I always give us, because it's like we've found the mountaintop and we're sitting up there with our flags. We've found peace. We can hear the wind howling past. It's beautiful, you know, and we're looking at the birds flying around. There might be an eagle soaring in the distance, and that's us. We've found that free energy, that our bodies are relaxed now, and we feel happiness and joy in those simple things again. But these people who are waking up, you've got to remember that they've been down in the valley. Not that it's bad being in the valley. I'm just saying that they've sort of got no sunlight. You think of a valley, it's very shaded and it's not got that great, it's kind of dark. It can be a bit gloomy. Often there's a creek and it's a bit damp and danky. So these people are now having to rise up, which means they're having to climb up the side of the mountain virtually to get to the top, which is getting their freedom back. And that's what this is about. That's what the guides are saying. These people are trying to drag themselves out of that darkness and into the light and that feeling of freedom and making their own decisions again and not being dictated to. And that's what the guides are kind of saying. This is going to be a journey for them. I always talk about the journey of waking up can be a process. We've all gone through it at a different sort of time frame, I would say. It takes, some people wake up really quickly, some take longer, and different triggers for these people as well. And that's why I say this is going to go well into 2023, 2024. So I always say to just stay safe, stay up on the mountaintop, and just let these people keep reaching for that light and going through their journey of waking up. Actually, I saw one of my girlfriends that ditched me at the supermarket yesterday, and she was pretending she didn't see me, but I know that she did. But that's fine. I don't care. That was her choice to do what she wanted, but nobody ever respected our choices to do what we wanted to do. Instead, they chose to vilify and attack us. There's a great video, and I'm going to share it to my Facebook page if anybody's interested in it. It's on Chrissy Fitzgerald, Psychic Life Coach, Facebook. I have a private and a public one just to keep my friends and family separate from all of this. Go and check that out though today. I'll post it. It was Sky News, and it showed a lot of clips about all government leaders here vilifying the unjabbed, etc. And 3 boosted, you haven't got enough boosters. So it was on and on, attacking everybody. And it's just an interesting video, because then it talks about the CDC and how they've backflipped. And it's even got some of these ministers now saying, oh yeah, well, we do realise looking back that there was no difference between jabbed and unjabbed. And meanwhile, they destroyed everybody's lives, broke up families, people lost their jobs, mandates destroyed people's incomes. Like, how's that work? So I'm going to post that if you want to go and check it out. It's an Australian one, and it's good for a laugh, of course. So that's what I'm getting now. These people are having to climb up, because that's how they're going to raise their vibration. We always talk about altitude. It's like climbing up that mountain, and then you'll feel free of the anxieties, the fears, the hurts, the past things that have sort of happened to you that have crippled you up and contracted you. Look at us on this channel. I reckon we could pretty much say none of us are contracted. We don't live in fear. We don't feel anxiety. We have tiny moments. I'm not saying our lives are smooth and we're all perfect. But we have found ways and taught ourselves ways by living in the now, living a simple life, doing the things that uplift us and make us feel stronger. And that's how we've managed to get through 3 years of absolute BS and garbage that's been fed to us, or that they tried to feed to us. Like I say, we always closed our mouth, like the kid in the high chair, the baby in the toddler rather, in the high chair being spoon-fed vegetables. We're not going to take it. And that's the song we got the other day, isn't it? We're not going to take it anymore. We're not. I can't remember who sang the song, but you remember the song. I'll see if there's anything to close with today. Yeah, they're showing me these people waking up, and probably not the mass psychosis one, still stuck in that, but a lot of the people are waking up. They're really backflipping. It's showing me them doing continuous backflips to get away from government. They are backflipping. And that could even be government too. They're backflipping on a lot of their decisions, because they know they have to come at this with a much softer approach. I keep saying that they've had to go and reassess and come at the people with a much softer approach. God, they're still pushing, for example, here, they're still pushing the electric cars thing. Was on TV yesterday, and the other opposition minister or whatever said, well, how is this going to work? Because there's not enough charging stations, and people still can't afford electric cars. So it's a totally unrealistic, as you all know, where you're living, same thing. And now there's this thing called electric car anxiety or stress or something, that owners of electric car have this really bad anxiety. So they're just bringing out more anxiety in people, because then they have to queue up, as we've all seen on clips and things. They have to queue up with their electric cars, because you've got to wait for so long for it to charge until things get really speedy. I think it takes a while sometimes. Doesn't it take an hour or more for some of them? I don't even know. You might know if you're out there. If you've got an electric car, let us know down below. But this is what I'm getting. Like, it's just stupidity now that and all the opposition leaders are kind of calling it out as well. It's absolutely getting crazy. I tell you, Australia's, oh my God. I know you guys understand where I'm coming from. It's just, our countries, all of you, I know, don't feel the same anymore. Just let me see if there's anything to close with today. Yeah, it's just, people want their lives back. See, they've been tricked and they've been fooled. And they're showing me... And they're showing me government knocking on these people's doors. And this was in the very beginning of the pandemic. When they knocked on our doors, we didn't answer. We looked through the little peephole, the peephole or the camera. If you had the, doorbell camera, we pretended we weren't home, and we snuck to the back of the house and stayed very quiet and told the kids, shh, don't answer the door. But these people who got stuck in the narrative answered the bloody door to government, and they wished now they'd never answered the door, because I think I said it the other week, it's like one of those vacuum cleaner salesmen for the 50s they let in their home that is just relentless and pushing and trying to sell them something. You could even relate it to the Avon lady who used to come to the door. Oh God. So that's where these people are now. They're wanting to slam the door on government. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today, that image, that we never answered the door. Shh, years ago. And even if you've joined my video along the way, you managed to slam the door in the government's face as well. And it's brilliant. And we're hiding out. Well, it's not so much that we're hiding. We're protecting ourselves like the brave hearts that we are, sitting on the mountain. And we'll still keep listening to Josh Groban's song, because the guides keep raising us up so we can sit on mountains. And in a very humble way. Always remember that. It's very important. We can't go, I told you so, because that's just very bad. We don't have to tell them because they're seeing it anyway. We can remain silent because we're still here. We're reflecting back to them the image that they were lied to about. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Please take care. I will say goodbye. I'll get on to another video tomorrow. And have a wonderful day. And I'll say goodbye from Australia. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like buttons. Comment down below. Let me know what's happening where you are. And I'll say goodbye. Bye from Australia. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.